Should we care about diversity? Why is it always brought up in conversation? Specifically, right now, you have the transition going on, and that's really all I hear from Democrats talking about diversity is our strength and things along those lines. My question is, how can we ever get past the fact that we all might look different if we constantly have to bring it up in conversation? Well, hopefully we can cover all that today, but really what I want to talk about specifically are Biden's cabinet picks. What I want to go into first is Biden's most recent picks to his cabinet. I saw this news story kind of break this week. So, with historic picks, Biden puts environmental justice front and center. So, in the photo here, okay, her name is Deb Holland, and I believe she's from New Mexico. So she's going to be the first Native American to serve as Interior Secretary. Okay, so this is kind of what I wanted to bring up in regards to diversity and, should we care about it? Is it something that really matters? You know, if someone is qualified for a position, then by all means, I think that they should absolutely be given said position. But why is it that we always need to lead with this right here? I'm going to highlight it for you. To become the first Native American. To me, it just seems like it's trying to kind of get back at all the evil white people that they think exist. And to me, it's just kind of unproductive because it riles up their base. And for everyone else, it just makes them kind of scratch their head and go, why are we talking about this? This is a quote from Representative Holland. She says, "A voice like mine has never been a cabinet secretary or the head of a Department of Interior." Holland tweeted Thursday night, "I'll be fierce for all of us, our planet, and all of our protected land." Okay, so right there, she's talking about that of what it is that she's going to do right now that if she's sworn in and she's able to attain that role. And again, if she's picked based on her qualifications, by all means. But if we're leading with, well, this person looks a certain way, so therefore she's the best for the job or he's the best for the job, I think that's kind of the definition of racism, and we're going to pull that up in a second. But moving just a little bit more in the article, you can see, in addition to Holland, Biden has turned to North Carolina environmental regulator Michael S. Regan to become the first black man to head the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, as well as Obama administration veteran Brenda Mallory to serve as the first black chair of the White House Council on Environmental Quality. Another thing worth noting in this particular article, I'm going to highlight it so we can kind of all read it together. I'm going to make sure I don't highlight the entire page again. So with that selection and others this week, Biden sent a clear message that top officials charged with confronting the nation's environmental problems will have a shared experience with the Americans who have disproportionately been affected by toxic air and polluted land. Okay, so what this says is they believe that if you are black or if you are a Native American, you've been disproportionately affected by said things. It was toxic air as well as polluted land. And that can absolutely be the case. But what I want to talk about more specifically is they're saying that, well, basically because these people have certain skin color, therefore they're going to be more qualified to do the job. And what I want to flip to now is we're going to flip to a page which has the definition of racism, and we're going to see if that fits the bill. The first part of the definition, I think this is probably the definition that we're all, I guess, most accustomed to. So you have prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group. And we can all agree right now, that's bad. I don't want to see any of that. I hope none of you want to see any of that. Now, in the bottom part, because you're obviously going to have multiple examples of, definitions. So the bottom reads, the belief that different races possess distinct characteristics, abilities, or qualities, especially so as to distinguish them as inferior or superior to one another. So my question would be, kind of going back to that last article, Biden is appointing certain people into his cabinet based on the color of their skin because he feels that they have a better, whether it be connection or that they would do a better job simply because of the color of their skin. To me, that sounds like the second part of the definition of racism, to where you are let's see, the belief that different races possess distinct characteristics, right? And then you fast forward as to distinguish them as inferior or superior to one another. Again, going back to the people that he chooses to appoint, I hope that he's appointing them based on their qualifications and not on their skin color. Because to me, that just screams racism. And another thing worth noting, I believe Democrats are very guilty of the same things that they accuse other people of being. So for example, you'll always hear, well, you just don't like this person because you're racist, you're this, you're that, right? Whatever it is, they'll use the new buzzword, the new ism, so that people can dust you off as, a bigoted person. But I personally believe that Democrats do this on purpose because when they fill positions based on skin color, they get to preach to their base about how moral and how virtuous they are. But at the end of the day, I truly feel that you're going to get the same status quo, political establishment, and you're not really going to get any change. But hey, as long as we feed the wolves that are within our movement, right? And we show them, oh, we're going to appoint all these people, we're going to make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. I guess that's all they truly care about. Because at the end of the day, they'll make a lot of noise during an election year, but once the election's over, they tend to forget about those same people. The author of this particular article is Jody Enda. I'm not familiar with the individual, but Biden's all-female White House communications team proves the old boys club has to go. There it is right there. Nothing like a little bit of sexism to spice up the day, right? So again, I really feel that there's a particular wing in the Democratic Party. Okay, and maybe it's bigger than I'm stating it right now. Maybe it's smaller than I'm stating. But I truly feel there's a particular movement within the Democratic Party that truly does hate guys. And with the tone of this particular headline, I kind of see how more people get on board with believing that, oh, we got to get all our problems are rooted in the old white guy. Yeah, that's it. So let's move forward in the article a little bit because that's not what the entire thing is about. So if you were to read, and maybe you've heard this story already, so I'll read this. In a particularly stunning move, he and Harris have chosen an all-female slate to lead their communications team, ensuring that for the first time in history, women have the chance to weigh in on every important White House decision. Okay, so again, alluding back to what I said a few minutes ago, if someone is chosen to a position, right, if they're given a position because of their qualifications, and they happen to be a woman, they happen to be black, they happen to be Native American, hey, cool, okay? They ruled that you're the best person for the job based on your qualifications, so hey, have at it. Make this a better place for everybody. But if we're choosing people based on not only their skin color, but now we're choosing based on their gender, I think we're getting into, let's just say, sexism? Question mark? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something wrong with me and I think, a little too differently. You can let me know what you feel. But let's talk about strategy because I know Democrats, I know some people might not want to admit it, but Democrats are incredibly good with strategy. So why is it that Democrats elect, or not only elect, but when they stuff their cabinet, they do it with people and they scream diversity, right? Why do they do that? Well, have you ever heard of something called a golden cow? So a golden cow is, in political terms, it's basically something that you can't touch. There's, no matter what, any criticism you have of said golden cow, it just kind of gets deflected. And this is why Democrats, at least in my opinion, this is why they have incredibly diverse cabinets. It's not because they truly care about diversity, it's because they use it for their political gain. So for example, what I'm saying right now, questioning if diversity really matters. Well, I'm sure maybe down the road, if this video gets any sort of traction, someone's going to be right there saying, oh, this is just a white guy mad at the world because it's changing before him and he's just this, he's just that, he just hates women. And that's really not the case, but that's what a golden cow is. So what you're going to have with this all-female communications team, they just found the golden ticket in that nobody can criticize the administration now. So I truly feel that there's some sinister reasons why Democrats are all about diversity, and I don't think it's because they truly care about it, whereas I truly do feel they use it for political gain. Now, in conclusion, should diversity matter? I say no. I think that if somebody's qualified for a particular position and they get appointed to it, great. Make the place better, right? But if we're shoving diversity down people's throats, I just don't think that that's the way that we can now be all, happy and holly jolly, right? Like, I just feel that they're trying to make it to where when they talk about diversity, they're trying to sort of sneer or stick their tongue out at white guys because they're trying to say, ooh, look, the country's changing and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's just a personal take that I have from it. And I guess I'll kind of end with, I want you to imagine you have a Democratic Party going on over here and a Republican Party. And I'm not talking about political party. I'm talking about, like hanging out, having a good time party. So this is my opinion, but when you have a Democratic Party, if you're a certain color, they don't like you. And if you are that certain color, in order for them to like you, or at least for them to spare you, you have to get on your knees. You have to apologize for the fact that you're a certain skin color, right? And maybe they'll let you still hang out with them. If you have too much money, right? If you're too successful, they're going to kick you right out. And especially if you have the wrong opinions, oh man, forget about it. Like the opinions I'm sort of talking about right now, nope, not happening. I've been kicked out of that club a long time ago. So that's the Democratic Party. Now I want to bring you over to sort of the right wing, or the Republican Party, if you will. I want you to imagine you got music playing, people are dancing, you got different ideas going on. It doesn't matter what your income is, and it certainly doesn't matter what you look like. They're all people that just want to see America continue and to see it get better for everybody. Which party sounds like more of a fun time right now? As of now, I'm always going to be choosing the Republican Party. And that's as simple as that. Because at the end of the day, I can actually speak different ideas. I can disagree with people who I might align with politically. And at the end of the day, we're going to say, okay, you think differently, I think differently, maybe we can meet in the middle. Imagine having a conversation like this right now with someone that aligns on the Democratic side. Forget about it. They're going to slander you to no end and try and cancel you. I want to know what your thoughts are, because at the end of the day, this channel is for you. I want to try and get new ideas out there and to see if we can start getting more people on board with this freedom of exchange, right? This freedom of thought movement. So let me know what you think. You think I'm nailed it on the head? You think I'm making an argument from left field and I should just stop talking about it? Either way, let me know. But as always, I appreciate you checking out the channel, and I hope to see you again sometime soon.